He's a priest of the Diocese of Charleston, South Carolina. He served as an Anglican priest before being ordained into the Catholic Church in 2006. He's also a well-known columnist and blogger. I spoke with Father Dwight Longenecker recently about his new book. It's a timely one. It's called Immortal Combat, Confronting the Heart of Darkness. Take a look. Now, you believe the church has lost sight of one of its missions, direct confrontation with the devil. How so?
Well, I think that in the modern world, a lot of modernist theologians and priests and prelates are a bit embarrassed by the supernatural aspects of our religion, a bit embarrassed also, I should say, by the cross and the idea of blood sacrifice and so forth. And so over the last 50 or 60 years, they've quietly been putting those things in the sort of ecclesiastical attic and instead producing a faith which is much more about fellowship and happiness and making the world a better place and so forth. But this neglects actually the real streak of darkness and evil that is woven through our hearts and our society.
In the book, you write, the Christian life is a battle or it is nothing at all. The baptized are warriors, and the church is not mild, it is militant. What are you getting at there? And describe the 10 swords that you discuss in the book that you recommend for this battle that we all face.
Yes, you know, the strain of militancy runs right through the sacred scriptures, from Genesis right through to the book of Revelation, where it says there was war in heaven and Michael and his angels did battle with the great enemy. The Psalms are full of military sort of language. The Lord strengthens my hands, my arms for war, and my fingers for battle, and so forth. And it's also true in the lives of the saints and down through history. The church has had a militant aspect to it. And we're not talking about jihadist Muslims who are cutting off heads and blowing people up. We're talking about a spiritual warfare. St. Paul says we do not fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers in the high places. So this has been there right from the beginning. But again, in the modern age, we've been embarrassed by this, and to be honest, there have been incidents in the Catholic history, like the Crusades and so forth, which a lot of have been largely misunderstood and have been seen as a blot on our history. So they've quietly removed hymns like "Onward, Christian Soldiers" and "Fight the Good Fight," and tried instead to give us a much more easygoing marshmallow kind of religion. And I say now's the time to realize that it's a battle.
Yeah, tell us about those 10 swords that you recommend for this battle. Just run through a few of them.
Yeah, in the first half of the book, I talk about the real nature of the sin of the world, and then in the second half of the book, I say, what are we going to do about it? And towards the end of the book, I give what I call 7 swords of the Spirit, and these are things we're already used to as Catholics, the sacraments and our prayer life and so forth. But I've tried to recast them for us to see that all of the things that we do in celebrating the sacraments and maintaining silence and service and so forth is actually a living out of the cross, or bringing the power of the cross and the victory of the cross into the present moment.
Your journey to becoming a Catholic priest is a bit unusual. You grew up evangelical, you were ordained as an Anglican priest, and then your whole family was received into the Catholic Church. This path has given you a perspective on religion that I think is so unique. In a recent blog post, you worry Christianity will die in the West. How can we save modern Christianity, and Catholicism particularly?
Well, one of the things I've been writing about recently in my blog is that modernist Christianity, which has been reduced to moralistic therapeutic deism, in other words, rules to obey, and how Christianity can make you, deal with your tired marriage and help to be a better parent and stuff. That's therapeutic. And deism, God, if there is a God, he's sort of on the other side of the clouds and he's having a nap. This kind of Christianity or religion, I contend, isn't even religion. It's something else. See, religion is in every place down through history, in every civilization has had to do with an encounter, an existential encounter of the human beings with the supernatural, with the other side, with angels and demons and heaven and hell and the afterlife. That's what religion is about. That's what it's always been about. And so
Mm.
reducing it to a bland set of morals and a bland set of therapy and so forth is really, it might be helpful in the world, but it's not actually religion. And therefore, people want religion. They don't want just a list of respectable rules. They can get that from the Rotary Club or the Girl Scouts. Um,
Yeah.
they they want religion, which has to do with an encounter with the divine.
Father, respectable rules sound like a good thing at this point. You have forces, even within Catholicism, that are basically rubber stamping every secular idea that comes around the transom. I mean, you know, whether it's social movements or political movements, or you should hate this one or love that one. And it has nothing to do with the religion you're talking about.
Yes, and so what happens when we adapt to the spirit of the age is we will soon be going along with every sort of wind of doctrine, as St. Paul says, and we'll lose the
Hmm.
faith completely. And if we simply jump on the latest bandwagon, which seems to be supporting some worthy cause in some way. Don't get me wrong, these causes are worthy, and many of the causes are things which Christians can be involved in. But my point is, they're not actually the religion. They're the
Mm.
consequences of living a Christian life and being a certain kind of transformed person, but they're not primarily the religion. The religion has to do with an encounter with our Lord Jesus Christ, crucified, buried, and risen again, which transforms our lives. That is preaching the cross and Him crucified. That's what my book is about, and is trying to get
Yeah.
back at this. If I could say quickly, one of the reasons I'm passionate about this is the summer Billy Graham died. I was coming down Interstate 85 and saw his cortege moving from North Carolina to Washington. And the
Mm.
bridges over the highway were crowded with people who were paying homage to him. I went back and watched one of his old crusades, and I thought, here's a man who, in his all simplicity, just always uncompromisingly preached the need for sinners to face their redemption in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's what it's about.
Hmm.
And we have forgotten that.
Yeah. Yeah. A good reminder. Father Dwight Longenecker, thank you so much. The book Immortal Combat, Confronting the Heart of Darkness, is available now at bookstores everywhere and online. Father Dwight, thank you for being here.
Thanks for the invitation.